Great respect for Coach Dawkins and the Central Florida program. I thought the difference in the second half was the 9 offensive rebounds that they had. I thought we did a good job in the first half, keeping them off the glass, or at least, working towards doing that. We knew that was a big piece of the game. And then obviously C.J. Kelly was terrific right from the tip with the three-point ball in the first half. And in the second half, really driving down the lane and getting to the rim and making his free throws.
Questions?
Coach, just how difficult was that? You were right on the doorstep a couple of times that you would get downhill and either get fouled, or if y'all got the miss, then they would get the rebound.
Just what we talked about in the locker room. Now we put ourselves in a position that every single time we were in these high magnitude defensive possessions, which is normal, and this is what conference play is about. But some of the silly mistakes that we were making put you in a position where you have zero margin for error, and we don't have a whole lot as it is. And so now you're in a position where you need to get a stop, and when you do get a stop, late game, we went with a little bit more aggressive press. We wanted to force a quick shot. We were fortunate enough that they missed it. We don't get the rebound. We got a big stop in a one-possession game. We don't get the rebound, and they put it back in. So, again, I really believe that that was a huge part of the second half. Their ability, I don't think we were very good or as good as we needed to be in the second half defensively. Surely not as good as we were in the first half.
Maybe it's part of just the flow of the game and how the offense is going, but would you like to see Brandon maybe take some more shots too? I know he went 5 for 5, and I don't know.
No, I think that's a good point. And, I think really what really hurt us in the first half is when Brandon, Ezra, and Javon were all in foul trouble. But particularly in this game, Brandon and Ezra, I thought they were being pretty effective, both offensively and defensively. And that was a big deal because we had, I believe, a 7-point lead, and Brandon and Ezra both have to check out of the game with 2 fouls. And I contemplated keeping him, but this was a highly emotional and a very physical game. And I kind of saw this game coming down to the second half, and I thought that Brandon and Ezra, that we could maintain. And they went on a 5-0 run during that last stretch. So we had, I think, a 2-point lead at halftime. So I think foul trouble took a little bit away from Brandon in the first half. And then Central Florida is one of the elite defensive teams, not only in the conference but in the country. So they are going to make adjustments not to let Brandon get open looks. I mean, they were there in the second half when he touched the ball. And we're continuing to express Brandon to be aggressive, and he's doing that. And in his 29 minutes to go 5 for 5 and 3 for 3 from 3, to answer your question, yeah, sure, if I could go back, I'd love him to shoot the ball more.
You mentioned highly emotional and physical game. When you have a game like that, is it kind of hard to get the players to kind of keep their composure and kind of focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, that's a great point. We talked about it before. We talked about it at shoot-around. We talked about it. And, but this is a competitive game. This is a high-intensity game. It's a very physical game. They're a physical team. We try and play physical. I'm going to go back and watch the tape. I'm really be able to determine, stuff that happened. But I thought we did lose a little bit of our poise and composure a few times. Silly fouls that may not seem like something in the moment, but are sure end up being a byproduct of being in tough situations later. And I thought we put ourselves in that situation by letting the emotion get to us.
Kind of just an off night for Javon, at least scoring the ball. And then why did he not start it?
Javon and Jaden, both, we just had a team breakfast this morning, and they weren't on time. Just a punctuality thing. Again, they've been great all year, but there's certain team standards that we have, and it just, they just, fumbled one. And that's why they didn't start. As far as his game, I don't think it had anything to do with it. I think what Javon and what all players that have success in this league, in any league, when you have success and you're someone that the opposing coaching staff and opposing players know that our coaching staff and our players have great confidence in Javon, and we do. And that a lot of the time the offense runs through him, he's a decision maker, he's a scorer, he is going to get every other team's best effort, team defense-wise and individual defense-wise. And I think he saw that tonight. And I think he's seen that in this, and he's played through it. But, that target on your back gets bigger and bigger the more success you have as a player. That's sports. And I think Central Florida did a really good job, and I think Javon will bounce back really well.
Have you been able to tell Winston Tabs is kind of rounding back into basketball shape? shape and form and.
Yeah, I think Winston's given us a great feel out there, and you know what? He's doing it in practice, and we've often talked about that in here, and that guys are going to earn what they get in practice, because that's where we get 31 games. I mean, that's what we get, but we have hundreds of practices, and we're in there every day, and we were in there earlier today. So what the guys do in practice, and I think as Winston has gotten healthy, his practices have gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. And we talked about that back in the fall with Winston. Winston, when you get yourself going, you're going to earn it in practice, and he's done that, and I give him so much credit for it.
You guys got the offensive board, off the missed free throw. Just take us through that sequence. It's kind of chaotic there, and I know you got 2 shots at it. But
Yeah, I got to see what it looked like. But we were trying to determine at one point, is this the time to, we had great confidence in Brandon would have made that second one. And now you're down 2. You got to try and get a steal. We don't have any timeouts. You got to play the foul game, go down and come back. We just looked at it. We have stuff that we work on. The guys we knew, we called a play where we know, hey, we want to try and get a 3 right now. And the guys, I give them a lot of credit. They executed. We got the shot, and we actually it sounds like we ended up with 2. I know it was a kind of a mad scramble over there. Again, I got to see it. But, that we just thought with 6 seconds left, at that moment, with the lineup we had in, with Brandon up there to execute that particular play, we thought we had a chance to get it, and but it just didn't go in.
So did you see, or was it just so much chaos and you didn't have a good angle on it, or?
Well, I saw the miss. I saw the scramble in deep corner. I think Winston got it. It was hard to tell, did he get a shot off or not for me from where I was, or was it just a scramble and then a loose ball? So I don't know what happened on that one, but obviously I saw the last shot, and it didn't go in.
with Ezra, would you like to see him rebound the ball better? I think 1 rebound tonight, and he's got the size and explosiveness. Is that just kind of another learning?
100%, and we just talked about in there in the locker room, and we have high standards and expectations for Ezra, and I think every player should want that, and that's an area that he knows he needs to be better, and we need him to be better because he's got the ability to do so. We need someone on that front line to go lock arms with Brandon the way Brandon's rebounding, and Ezra can do it, and he just got to lock in on that part of his game right now.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Okay. Yeah.